strange as it now seems to be sitting in my peaceful study. Yeah, that's a pretty awful Orson Welles, isn't it? Anyway, welcome to Thanksgiving in Archive Land. And the idea this year was normally for Thanksgiving, I will do some sort of greatest hits, some sort of retrospective on Oddity Archive itself. Well, I thought I would do something different this year. I thought I would, to use the food metaphor, serve up a little banquet of open reel videotapes. And the whole thing just kind of blew up in my cardboard obscured face. So here's the deal. I had 8 tapes in this particular lot, and they all turned out to be some level of a dud. Now, 2 of them I have attempted to salvage for this episode, but what we're really going to do here for the most part is reach back to some previous batches of tapes where I just didn't cover them. I just felt like I had better material at the time. Now, hopefully this is still reasonably interesting. Hopefully these are still like, edible table scraps, as it were. But yeah, before I show any footage here, let's do a little process of elimination here. So 8 tapes, and our first elimination was what looked the most promising to me. It just says second effort here on the handle, but it's Vince Lombardi, second effort. So silly me, I thought it would be about football. But no, it's apparently, it's from 1968, and it's evidently the all-time most famous sales training film. And I assume it was successful because, one, it doesn't teach you how to sell any particular product or service, and 2, it's, Vince Lombardi coaching you through being a new salesman. Well, here's the thing with this particular copy. Somebody had a 16 millimeter print of it. They were just projecting it onto the wall, and they had the microphone aimed kind of half in the general vicinity of the film projector, but you still wind up hearing the projector more than anything else. And all of these tapes, I should note, in this batch are some level of, they were recorded on some level of a misaligned machine. At best, the video is hard to watch. At worst, it's just totally shot, and you're depending completely on the audio. And yeah, I would say that one's going to be meeting with the bulk eraser eventually, but those Memorex brand tapes really like to shed, so yeah, it's probably just never going to get touched again. Maybe I'll dump the tape and keep it as a spare take-up reel or something. So yeah, that went out the window. Now, I had this very enticing-looking stack of 3 Scotch brand tapes, these little 5-inch deals. And especially this top one, which, as best as I can gather, if I know my history well enough, could get us as far back as about 1970. Well, this does get us back to about the mid-70s, but yeah, it's 3 tapes worth of classroom footage. Now, that's not necessarily inherently bad, but what we have here is 3 tapes worth of some sort of small group math tutoring thing. Middle elementary school, like 3rd grade or so, and no more than 2 or 3 kids at a shot. So everybody's just sitting around a single table. And yeah, it's, for one, it's not very interesting. And also, let me put it this way. I did learn 2 things from it. One, teaching math evidently hasn't changed a whole lot since the mid-70s. And 2, it's a really, really, really bad idea to take your microphone and tape it down to the table that you are also giving the lesson on and that everybody is working on. Because you hear the pencils scratching and papers shuffling and people moving around way more than you hear, what they're actually saying. So yeah, that's 4 tapes down. And so that leaves us 4 more tapes, but only 2 things to salvage here, one of which just happens to take up another 3 reels. But anyway, let's start with the one that I am quite literally only able to give you a few seconds of. So we got one of those nice big fat Sony V32s, 1 hour reel here. And well, it's now I've got 2 copies of the first 2 episodes of Music Is, which I've covered already on this little show of mine. But here's the deal. This is an off-air copy of it. and the station break is intact, but it's super duper short. And to make matters worse, this had to have been one of the last things recorded on this presumptive school's open reel videotape deck, because by this point the alignment is so thoroughly off that on my machine it's just totally incomprehensible on the video front. You're totally relying on the audio. And at the very least, here's what, like 6 or 7 seconds worth of station ID.
WVIZ TV 25, Cleveland.
Good morning, KLUC. You sure can.
This young lady is largely responsible for the smooth operation of a radio station, where she provides a broad range of clerical services. She's Mary Albright, General Office Clerk.
So that leaves us with only one real keeper, and it's spread out over 3 tapes, and I found the subject matter to be quite maddening, and I think we'll save it for later. Let's ease ourselves into this one. So anyway, this next tape is another leftover from previous batches of tapes, but I have discussed this one before. So my standing record for oldest off-air TV recording, complete video and audio, is from November 17th, 1970. And wouldn't you know it, the commercials are all cut out. But this tape starts pretty promisingly. We get half of a commercial for A&P grocery stores, and that goes into a rerun of Hazel, the old sitcom. And after a minute, that pretty violently gives way to the Hallmark Hall of Fame presentation of Hamlet, as in Shakespeare, as in Alas, Poor Yorick. Now, I don't necessarily have an issue with that, but again, the commercials are cut out, and with how clunky these early machines were, you don't get really clean edits and stuff. But there are some teeny little scraps, like a second or two of the odd bumper, or there's one on-screen station ID at one point, but that's kind of it. And of course, this was a 2-hour time slot, but these tapes only could hold 1 hour at a shot, so it would have had to have been broken up over 2 reels, no matter what. But I only have that 1 reel. But anyway, yes, we've got our production of Hamlet here. And on paper, this should be an absolute winner. It stars Richard Chamberlain and Sir John Gielgud. But something went wrong here. So it's a very small, intimate production of Hamlet. Most of it's done on just a couple of little sound stages. It was mostly shot on videotape. It just has that vibe to it. And yeah, again, it's just very intimate. It's very small, and there's a lot of real tight close-ups to boot in this thing. Unfortunately, the actors are all still going at this thing like they're on some big stage in some big venue in front of some big audience. And as such, they come off looking totally ridiculous because they're still doing the real big broad gestures and the stage voice and all on what is supposed to be a pretty small production of this thing. So, I've got all the little scraps for you here from this recording of Ephemera, but dare I say the real treat here are some of the more amusing moments from this production of Hamlet. Now, having said that, yes, I have never before or since let out quite the blood-curdling scream I did at this particular tape.
Garrett by Quick Cut. And best of all, this new all-purpose knife is yours for only 89 cents. Yes, that's right, only 89 cents.
I've just been bursting to ask someone who knew him.
Ask him what?
You said Professor Webster visited your house. Just make conversation so he can hear the sound of her voice.
That's even more romantic than the book.
Well, she never let on that she...
Answer me! Long live the king! Bernardo! He. You come most carefully upon your hour. Get thee to bed, Francisco. Look where he comes again. The same figure like the king that's dead. Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio. What art thou that usurps this time of night? Stop it, Marcellus! I strike at it. Do it. It will not stand. Tis here. Tis here. Tis gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical, to offer it a show of violence.
It snowed on the Christmas Eve.
Gifts of Hamlet, our dear brother's death. My father. Methinks I see my father. Where, my lord? In my mind's eye, Horatio. I saw him once. He was a goodly king. He was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again. My lord, he comes!
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us.
Thou spirit of hell, goblin damned. By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. I say away! Go on. I'll follow thee. He waxes desperate with imagination. Whither wilt thou lead me? Oh, list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love. Oh, God! Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder. Murder! Murder most foul as in the best it is. But this most foul, strange, and unnatural. Is me to know it. That I with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge. Bloody, bawdy villain! Remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! Oh, vengeance! Oh, what an ass am I? This is most brave that I, the son of a dear father murdered, must like a whore unpack my heart with words. Wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king! Why he puts on this confusion? Grating so harshly all his days of quiet. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. Where is your father?
Down, my lord.
My lord, do as you please, but if you think it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. If she find him not, to England send him. I will speak daggers to her, but use none.
Back on Volume 1, Random Video Reel-to-Reel Volume 1, I ran a couple of classroom projects, both taken from the same tape, and they were both TV commercial parodies, and dare I say, fairly funny ones at that. Well, there were actually three projects on that particular tape. And also, I failed to mention in that first episode that I don't know if this was some sort of weird private school or Montessori school or art school or something, but it seems to be an all ages school. So those TV commercial parodies were seemingly done by juniors and seniors in high school. This one, now we're dealing with 10 or 11-year-olds, something like that, as best as I can gather. But strangely enough, it's these 11-year-olds, will say, that were the most ambitious of the lot. So what they did here was there's three kids, and they decided to do their own little reduced production of the horror classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And when I say reduced, I mean it. They brought it down to 8 minutes. And unfortunately, about 6 minutes of it is just you sitting there watching Jekyll mixing chemicals. But there are still some laughs to be had from here, and I won't deny the reveal of Mr. Hyde got a pretty good chuckle out of me.
This story tells about a scientist who brings out the inner monster in himself. This story tells about a scientist who brings out the inner monster in himself. In this story, Dr. Jekyll turns himself into Mr. Hyde. The tragedy begins here.
If this works, I found the formula of the inner cell. I've got it! I found the formula of the inner
His formula on his unwilling patient.
I told you to be quiet! Oh my God, she's beautiful. Her inner self was beautiful. If I take this, I'll be more beautiful. I don't know if I should take it. Should I take it?
All right, let's get back to the one keeper of the most recent batch of tapes. And indeed, it's one item spread out over 3 tapes, clocking in at an excruciating 2.5 hours. But let me build up to this one just a bit here. So I've been known to lament in recent years that every time I think I have found something that is so utterly obscure and or archaic and or stereotypically uncool that there couldn't possibly be anyone that's actually seriously into this stuff, right? And every single time I am proven very, very wrong, and suddenly I'm staring down the barrel of a bunch of rabid cult enthusiasts of whatever topic. And as such, yes, I think I'm playing with fire with this segment, but I gotta be honest here. So anyway, the subject matter is barbershop quartets. And this is 3 tapes of just one show, some sort of, I don't even know what they were trying to do, but it's 8 or 9 groups. And this was recorded in, as best as I can gather, early 1978, late 77 possibly, and was recorded in or near Cleveland, Ohio. I thought Cleveland was supposed to be the rock and roll town. What is this? But anyway, yes, that's what was going on here. And so I learned the hard way here that I really am not into barbershop quartets. I am known to be pretty dang eclectic in my listening habits, but certainly after this, I have found that it just isn't for me. So anyway, let me try and plead my case here. For one, maybe I'm just spoiled, but to me, the whole barbershop quartet thing, it just feels very, very limited. It's a truly limited palette that you're dealing with. And as someone that grew up with, as far as harmonies goes, grew up with the Beach Boys, Mamas and Papas, Crosby, Stills and Nash, I'm used to harmonies that are a little more sophisticated and, of course, that have instrumental backing to boot. But yeah, stuff where there was definitely more going on. Dare I say, there was more going on with the kids, sitting on the street corners in New York City doing doo-wop in the 50s. So yeah, that kind of got to me a bit. But also, the barbershop quartets tend to favor the early Tin Pan Alley stuff, late 19th, early 20th century stuff. But not only that, I swear they pick out the most corny songs out of that part of the Great American Songbook. And then on top of that, yeah, they will try and get a little more modern here and there. But it always feels very wrong. And at times, dare I say, kind of uncanny valley. And on a slightly contradictory note, I found all the groups on these tapes to be just about interchangeable. I really couldn't tell one from the next just from listening alone. And so, yeah, that was another problem. And then I guess strike 3 for me would have been that if you've ever seen a complete barbershop quartet performance, you know that it's not just the songs. Between songs, they will either do little skits or they will talk to the audience. And it always is some sort of, corny joke, which is fine. I love a good bad joke. I mean, I truly love a bad dad joke, if you will. But when you take anywhere from 1 to 6 freaking minutes to get to what you know is going to be a totally lame punchline, I just can't get behind it. So with that, go ahead, Internet. Crucify me. It wouldn't be the first time.
You're the flower of my heart, sweet Adeline, sweet Adeline, my Adeline, sweet Adeline.
Hey, Bernie, who's that kid you got with you? His name is Sam. We were buddies in the same boxcar all the way from Podunk City. He wants to join up with us, and I told him I'd talk to you guys about it.
He looks kind of puny. Look at his shiny shoes.
We can always count on one thing for sure.
That's right, kid. Thick or thin,
good times or bad, we always stand together, side by side.
Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we travel along, singing our song, side by side. Don't know what's coming tomorrow. Maybe it's trouble and sorrow.
Boy, it sure is dark out tonight.
It sure is. Till I bumped into you guys, I thought there was nobody here but me and my shadow.
Even though silver crowns your hair, I can still see those gold ringlets there. Love's old flame is the same as the day I changed your name.
Poor little Robin, walking to Missouri. He can't afford to fly. Poor little Robin, walking to Missouri. And I got home from work at 6 o'clock and pulled in and found 2 fire trucks in my driveway and people running around hatchets and ladders. And needless, really petrified. I ran up to my wife and I said what was wrong, and the kids had set the bathroom on fire. And not too many people can have a bathroom set on fire, but we did. Fortunately, the fire department put it out before it reached the house, so there wasn't really a lot of damage involved.
There's people out there. Yeah. Anybody out there remember the 1920s? Hey! Boy, this is working awful close. If we screech, you let us know.
Doing the Lindy and Charleston dance made people think we had ants in our pants. We had a ball in the 20s. People did things for themselves. For instance, Capone making whiskey at home. That was the time of my life. You might have been a high school smarty 35 years ago. Remember, you might have had a half a dozen sweethearts that will never know. But you can't do the things you used to do 35 years ago. The years are coming on, so better face it. And the lamp is burning low. And now you can't do the things you used to do. Those days of one-action curtain calls, slapstick and funny balls, those were the good old days. I miss those old vaudeville days of the song and dance man. Memories light the corners of my mind. Misty watercolored memories of the way we
A few years ago, Rod's father passed away, lived in California, and at the time, Rod was right in the middle of a very large business deal. It was going to put in his pocket in the neighborhood of $300,000 to $400,000, just with the signature of a name. His father passed away, and he just couldn't get away. He gets on the phone, gives his brother a call. He says, "Ron, you got to help me out. I got this big deal going on. I can't get away. I don't know what else to do. Do me a favor. Try to make it right with the family. I want Dad buried first class. Spare no expense. Send the bill to me." About a month later, Rod received another bill in the mail for $22.50. Still didn't think anything of it, signed the little check, put it in the mail. And this goes on for 8 months before Rod decides something's amiss. Gets back on the phone, he says, "Ron, we have a problem. Why do you keep sending me the bill for $22.50? Ron says, "Well, if I remember the phone call right, you wanted Dad buried first class, A1, no expense spared." Rod says, "That's exactly right, but why the $22.50? He says, "Rod, we buried Dad in a rented tuxedo."
I have an announcement to make. Mrs. John Schmidt, your husband is lost and you're to meet him in the lobby. That's for true. That's not an emergency call, but he does want to meet you in the lobby. He didn't explain why, but if you'll go to the lobby, I'm sure everything will be fine.
So over on my left-hand side, the man that sings that beautiful lead voice, a man that's truly outstanding in his field, and this is where we found him in New Hampshire, outstanding in his field. Let's hear it for Dick Chakas, our lead, right here.
Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way she woos me. I don't want to leave her now. You know I believe her now. Ooh. Let me be there in your morning. Let me be there in your night. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right, make it all right. Let me be there every morning. Let me be there in your night. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right, make it all right.
Different religions in the quartet. For instance, we have 2 Catholics in the quartet, and then we have these 2 heathens over here.
Let's close things out today with another tape that I have discussed before but have never actually shown anything from. So the tape in question is somebody's home movie recorded on Christmas morning, 1974, and it even says so right on the reel. And it's what you would expect, opening presents and such. Now, back on Random Video Reel-to-Reel Volume 1, I mentioned that I was probably going to post that to Archive Annex in time for Christmas of 2023. Well, of course, that never happened. So what happened was I just totally chickened out. I had 2 reasons for not posting it, and I had it all ready to go and everything. I just didn't upload it. One, say it with me, the machine that it was recorded on was misaligned. So it's watchable if you try hard enough, but it's not comfortable. And 2, because I didn't want to ruin anyone's Christmas, I didn't post it because the family is a bit on the annoying side. So anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and share a bit of it for you now because, well, it's Thanksgiving. You'll have plenty of time to forget about it by Christmas. But also, yeah, it's considered the start of the holiday season in America, and we might as well get in that first taste of Christmas, no matter how disgusting. So with that footage notwithstanding, that is it for today's archive. Join me next time when I share my special eggnog recipe, which is guaranteed to lay your annoying relatives out flat.
Again alone, he makes his way through the holy door. Leaving behind him millions of pilgrims who will make the long journey to Rome and follow him.
Oh. Edward, yes. Terrific. Oh, wonderful.
Now what's going to go?
I'm in the market for everything,
I think we better give Chris some presents.
What is this?
The 74 Consumers Buying Guide.
Oh! Green bed. Oh, Mother, I don't want a huge one. I want to carry it when I'm backpacking. When I lean forward, it squeaks. How's that?
Come on, we're waiting for the show.
Edward. Eddie?
Who wants to watch another channel?
And you go sit down on the couch and take your microphone with you.
We're even fascinated with our toes and we're even fascinated.
I think the general spirit of this Christmas evening celebration has deteriorated, ladies and gentlemen. People are no longer interested in performing. And now the entertainment shifts to another member of our family, Mr. Christopher McDougall and his beautiful harmonica.
The golden harmonica. Got stuck.
Oh, wait a second.
Wind it up.
Since brevity is the soul of wit and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is to be nothing else but mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art.